Guys, I've never, ever in my life had a problem with anyone protesting. I want everyone, regardless of the size of their group, right, to have their message heard. Absolutely. It is baked into our Constitution. I want you to absolutely do what you think is best. But just understand, do not block anyone's movement under any circumstance. Like, I mean, I get it. You want to block someone's movement, and you think that they're now going to join your cause. Let me cause some disruption. So this disruption, it's in itself, would be enough to basically, get my message out. But once you do that, I want you to know right now, I personally will now go to the end of the earth promoting the exact opposite of your cause. Bro, I'm telling you. And I know I hear some of the people speak about when they block traffic and they block like entrances to stores and things like that. They say, well, how else are we going to get heard? Well, guess what? You're blocking just how you have the ability, let's say, to protest publicly like this. I have the ability to walk freely. Who are you to stop me? Right? And because now you're stopping me, I'm going to do the exact opposite of what you're actually fighting for. I'm going to do it all the time, at all times. All right? I'm sorry, bro. Your cause is your cause. I want you to protest. But do it over there. Where? You may ask. I don't care. Not in front of me. I don't know. Does that make me selfish? Does that make me a bad person? It may. I feel like it may, slightly. Right? But I'm just saying, under no circumstance should you be blocking someone else's freedom of movement. That's just not, that should never be a thing. But some people do that. That's just what it is. And these anti-deportation raids are not raids. The protest, apologies, are now in multiple places. Currently, Georgia, L.A., New York. Guys, what is happening here? I mean, I get it. You want your point heard. You want people to be in the country illegally. That's what you want. You don't like the law, right? I get that. Even though you're using kind of the Constitution to allow you to I don't know how this works here, guys. Sometimes the delusion of individuals is definitely intriguing to me. All right. One of these instances, at least. But let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see where this takes us, guys. LA police in riot gear face off with anti-Trump protesters. All right. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's do it, guys.
President Trump unleashing an immigration enforcement machine, carrying out his promise to secure our southern border and the northern one. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is visiting active duty military in El Paso, Texas, who are working alongside now Border Patrol agents. They've been there. The numbers are getting bigger per Trump. We have new images of the United States Marines arriving at Guantanamo Bay, where violent illegal immigrants will be detained. Also this, the Trump administration has been working round the clock to round up and deport criminal illegals on flights out of our country. Trump's crackdown has also sparked protesting across the country. In Dallas, people taking to the streets waving Mexican flags. In Los Angeles, police in riot gear forming a human barricade to shut down a protest that was blocking the busy 101 freeway. And in another surprising video, protesters burned the American flag. Well, whose side are they on?
Okay. So the imagery of it in itself. Now, keep this in mind. There are times where burning the flag in itself based off of our U.S. flag codes are completely normal, right? Like, let's say your flag is torn. You have to burn it type of thing. But to see individuals holding another country's flag while standing in the United States of America while burning the American flag, it is absolutely troubling. Now, I see it. It bothers me. I love the flag. Not a single issue here. Multiple flags everywhere. American-themed tattoos on my body. Guys, keep this in mind here. I love my flag. Love my country. But I wouldn't stop them from being able to do this. That may be a contradiction, but they are well within their constitutional rights to burn the American flag as a form of protest. They are. It's terrible. I'm not a super fan of it. I'm not sure anyone should be doing this, right? But they are within their rights to do so, unfortunately. In this exact context, the imagery is absolutely crazy, though.
Hesitate to put those images up because I know it causes more people just to try to get attention by burning flags. But there you have it.
So you decide at 9 o'clock in the morning, a social media post went out that said protest, and the police let 101 freeway, with everything that the trauma that everything that Los Angeles has been through, traffic anyway, on a Sunday, now they let them shut down an unpermitted protest until 6 o'clock at night. It's unbelievable. And then to understand the Mexican flag and El Salvador flag is not going to sell your story. Your story is, I feel like an American, I've been here. Instead, you're saying, I feel like a Mexican and I deserve to take over here. One of the signs said, America's on stolen land anyway. That's not going to win over today's America. That might have been fantastic in 2020. We're not buying it now.
Not even 2020.
So between that and what's happening with Rubio pushing to shut down the Darien Gap, the Venezuela taking back their people, what is happening on so many different ways, there is a massive crackdown in America on illegal immigration.
Can we just talk for a second about the Darien Gap? That's going to save a lot of lives of women and children in particular. That is some of the most harshest ground to traverse on the planet. And they're
Colombia
bringing
should play a role too.
Little ones coming through. So to hear that Secretary Rubio is concentrating on that is a miracle, really.
There's so many balls in the air, Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes
you're exactly
no.
right. And the left, for as much as they care about the humanitarian aspect of immigration, tons of people came through the Darien Gap and lost their lives, to your exact point. That image that we see in
Okay, that's interesting, this statement here. So the Darien Gap, yeah, in fact, people have been going through it. That's just the easy way to get to us, right? Specifically from Central and South America. That's just how you do it, right? By shutting that down, for some reason, they're acting like they care about the health and benefit of the people. No. Let's not play the games. Let's just speak honestly. The reason for shutting down the Darien Gap is to stop the flow of immigration. That's what it is. It's not about anyone's safety. It's not about making anyone look crazy or making whoever this person is that she mentioned is going to shut it down. It's not about making them look good. It's about slowing the crazy influx of immigration. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just try to speak as plainly as humanly possible here, guys.
Los Angeles, LAPD was ready to engage and arrest folks if necessary.
Yeah, it was unlawful assembly.
They weren't able to do that. And Bill Malugin says he spoke to the rank and file, and they said, this is the same old crap. We're chasing these guys down around all day for absolutely nothing. And this is what we're seeing. I mean, this is resisting Trump. There you're seeing it in LA. You go over to Chicago, and apparently there are these groups where when they see ICE come in these black SUVs, they mobilize. And ICE was actually not able to make an arrest in Chicago on that day because the community mobilized. But who are you mobilizing to support? The guy in Boston who had a second-degree murder charge? The guy in San Antonio who was found with a murder weapon from an unsolved murder last November, who was, by the way, released by Biden into the interior? Who exactly are you protecting? How about the guy in Buffalo, who is someone who was accused of all kinds of sexual trafficking and was found with an innocent young woman who he is believed to be trafficking at that moment? This is who we're going after. So work with us to protect the innocent and act humanitarianly by stopping some of the things that we're seeing.
I think most of these people are probably, I think on a super intelligent way here, I don't think they're protesting the people that she just pointed out. I think they're probably protesting for the collaterals that are there just in proximity to the other people that have committed these heinous crimes. I think that's probably it. Because think about it. The optics in itself is like trying to look at it from their perspective. Yeah, it's the collaterals, not so much the absolute crazy criminals.
The worst go first. Like, who would defend against that, Marie?
Well, the Trump team has been telling us that the worst go first. And I've said on this network...
Well, there's a lot of transparency. I mean, we see
I've said on this network many times, I support convicted criminals being deported. We saw from some of those early flights to Colombia that it included pregnant women. It included children.
Did they come over illegally?
It included, but they had not been convicted of crimes.
No, a first crime.
Remember I told you the collaterals? That's what she's talking about here. Yeah, I mean, the imagery of that in itself, yeah. Now, did they commit the crime initially by coming through our border in an illicit manner? Yes. Did they commit a secondary offense? No. The majority of the people that have come through the southern border are not going to commit a secondary offense. That's just factual. There's a small, very small percentage of the people that have come through the border that will commit a secondary offense, and those people absolutely are the ones who are committing offenses largely. Guys, these are the individuals that absolutely should have been packed up first, guys. Now, the women and children that they're talking about are obviously the collaterals. They were in a house with the individuals, but yet they still had There was still in the United States of America in a way that was not okay, basically.
Is when you break our
No,
laws,
but Harris, the
sovereignty of
Trump
coming
team
into
said
the
it will be
country.
the hardened criminals, the people Kayleigh mentioned, convicted of violent crimes.
And if they are with other
On day
illegals
one.
who cross
Let
the
me finish.
border,
Are we okay
Exactly.
deporting pregnant women
Why
who have
not?
not committed a crime except for coming here? If we are, then we should say that. The Trump team should say that. Second,
They have said collateral.
freedom of expression and protest is still legal in this country. We may not like it.
This is valid.
And to Brian's point, I think you make a good point about who are they trying to convince here, right? Who are they trying to convince? I think some of the most effective arguments I've seen made are, for example, people in the restaurant industry, people in the home healthcare industry, industries that rely on immigrants, both legal, undocumented people going through the system and are willing to work with law enforcement to say, look, our entire parts of this entire city we are sitting in would shut down if every person who came here illegally was deported. So how do we do this in a way that, to Kayleigh's point, protects people from criminals, doesn't shut down major parts of the economy, including the agriculture sector? That's the challenge right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it seems like she is completely fine with the concept of like a caste system. That's basically what she's promoting here. She is definitely pointing out the obvious, and this is very true. In fact, it's extremely true, guys. If every single illegal immigrant was to be taken out of America today, things would be crazy for a while. Most Americans just don't want to do some of the jobs that other people from other countries are completely willing to do because they just want the money. They need the money. And that's just the reality of the situation here, guys. But that still is in promotion of somewhat of a caste system, what she's kind of promoting. But either way.
Emily.
Number one, protesting on a freeway is always illegal. That's not protected protest, especially non-permitted protest.
Right, so unlawful
but secondly,
assembly.
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like we always talk about this. But I think it's a fallacious argument always. It's sort of like saying, if I can't afford to pay my taxes, what am I going to do? Like I have to do it this way because I can't afford it otherwise. There will be short-term pain as we readjust things. But the notion that the first foundational argument is, well, we rely on illegal immigration in these particular industries doesn't fly, because the American industry is still suffering then if it's not honest labor. And there's a lot of unemployed Americans that then, or legal immigrants that then could be selected for such. I'm not going to bless an argument where the premise relies on the backs of illegal immigrants. And I think to your point, we've seen communities rally in the past around protecting themselves from horrific people like Larry Singleton and Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, right? And to see the communities rally around so misguidedly these recidivist criminals is horrifying to me, because it means that the message has landed in a way that is so toxic and perverted. And when you see them burning the American flag, well, if it sucks here, you don't have to stay. But the reality is, not only is that anti-American, it's pro-cartel. So everyone waving the Mexican flags and everyone shutting down the LA freeway, you are telling me you align yourself with the cartels above anything else.
So this may...
Okay, so the Mexican flag is based off of some criminal narco state type of thing, but the American flag isn't, in the context of other people around the world when they see the American flag. Listen, she had me for a while, and I was like, you know what? You are pointing out the inherent ignorance of withholding, of like maintaining this caste system. You're pointing it out. I love that, right? But then you started kind of going off the rails here. Does the cartels, they utilize the flag of their country? Sure, of course they do. Does the Mexican flag immediately mean that it's some narco state type of thing, guys? No, not really. It means it's the flag of Mexico. Right, you're falling into the trap of the people who, for example, in Spain, a lot of people in Spain they no longer really like using the Spanish flag because Franco basically utilized the Spanish flag for him, right? And so now they think the Spanish flag is evil. Like, what you're doing is that it's super ignorant. Now, the imagery is crazy. I'm telling you right now, it's wild to see a group of guys with Mexican flags, Salvadorian flags, like standing, waving their flag over the United States of America while burning the flag. I find it absolutely reprehensible. It's legal, though. But let's continue.
Mayor decides you can't get to your home in Pacific Palisades, it's too dangerous, but make sure the cops don't get the illegal immigrants out of the streets
right.
to block the 101
Makes
freeway.
sense.
And
they are
breaking-
begging you to leave Los Angeles. You should do that.
Breaking our initial law, whether you are, whatever your health or medical situation is, as you were pointing out, Marie, is breaking our laws to get into the country. And I know during the lead up to the election, people on your side of the aisle did not agree with Republicans on the fact that the first law broken is when you don't legally belong in this country. So I get it. We'll have a different discussion about pregnant women with birthright citizenship. Trump is open for that discussion.
Ooh. Oh my God. Birthright citizenship is definitely intriguing. I am in the camp of saying that I think that a person should have been in the United States of America for at least 2 years if they are not a naturally born American. I think that that person would have had to been in the United States of America with legal status for at least 2 years. And I think that's the only time that the kid being born is actually American. If not, they are from wherever the mother is from specifically. That's how I would have it, period. And I think that's the best way. So if people are being deported and they are pregnant, what does that actually have to do with a single thing? Are the people being deported Americans? Like, guys, we are being taken advantage of completely. And no one is really trying to do anything about it except currently right now, Trump, I'd say. But in other countries, you can't get away with this. But for some reason, we have a group of people in the United States of America who are completely fine with the concept of having wide open borders. Like, they do not have the best interest at all for the country at all. And you can generally tell these individuals by the ones who refuse to utilize or even respect the American flag by any means, right? You can always tell the most anti-American group of people. You don't care about this country. You're masquerading. That's it, bro. You're masquerading. It's pitiful. But all right, listen, guys. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.
The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.